Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another video. This time with the Mafex Shazam, aka Captain Marvel, but we all know we can't use that license, blah, blah, blah. This is the movie version of Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, and I think it's pretty cool. I've had some time to sit down and play with it, but not get too crazy with it, because I've obviously just been chilling. But yeah, so let's jump into a video about him. As I take him out of his chair, get him all set up and nice for you, so we can talk about the figure. You can actually see me dilly-dally with it just a little bit as we get ready to pre-set up. I have some hands on, as you can see here. They're not the default ones, so you know, bear with me as I do this all. You can see a little bit about how it works. Now, one of the cool things about this figure, I absolutely love the look that is taken from the New 52/Rebirth stuff. I actually prefer the classic, but I think it translates really well here on this figure. Really well. Also, some tidbits is that I really think that one of the issues that stems from it is going to be this new shoulder implemented, and I'll talk about that in a second. While it helps the figure, it hinders in articulation, but it's definitely going to keep it from having dangerous QC issues later. So yeah, otherwise, as you can see, look-wise, I think the face sculpt is actually done really well. As I change the focus, there we go. I think it looks a lot like him. And they've done an excellent job of capturing that face sculpt. I really like what they've done here. So, move that back, get started right here. Now, you got a nice look. So, overall, look-wise, I really like what they've done. I like the updated New 52 look. It translates well into a movie format, and I'm actually adoring it. The only thing I think that that could have been done better if they went full New 52 and added the black and blue instead of the yellow, giving you that option for it. But even without that, I'm still enjoying it. Now, look-wise and articulation-wise, we have a head that can look up. That means that we're going to be definitely good for flight poses, as you can look straight up, pretty much. We can look down. We can tilt side to side. And as you can see here, he has an Adam's apple, so that you know where the front of the neck is when what's going on. As far as our arm articulation, which I want to get into, I'm going to slightly move the cape over. We have a butterfly joint that when rotated out, you get a little bit more room. We can still rotate all the way around. And we have the room to dip in, as you can see here, just a little bit. Now, moving your arm all the way out is definitely going to be an issue. This is about as far up as you'll get. Why they decided to do this, I absolutely have zero idea. But it even is difficult to take the arm out to get that extra range for extension. As you can see, I can still move all the way around. We have bicep swivel. We have a double joint that allows your arm to go all the way up. And we have standard movable pegs like SHF and other lines, as you can see. Now, again, moving this arm up is really difficult. Like I said, you don't get a lot of room going up. But it's just weird that they chose to change around that joint, because normally they would leave a little room in here as you pull the joint out to rotate up. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of this. You can actually do it and the joint is put in upside down. I really don't know, because I can't move it around all too well. So that's something that's actually a mystery to me, because normally, like I said, you'd be able to tuck in and then lift up, but that's as far as you'll get. But if you rotate it around, there's a place for the arm to tuck in and you get that range that goes out. This will also allow you to get your arms up for flight poses. So I'm not sure if this is going to help anyone, or maybe it's just mine. So if it's not just mine, we already know where the problem stems from. I have a QC issue. If it's not just mine and it's everybody else's, I think it was poor management of that inner disc that's going to allow that to really screw you up when it comes to lifting up your arms. So just be careful, you guys. Okay? As far as the upper torso goes, we actually get some nice room movement. You can go left, you can go right. You actually have a very pretty you don't have a very good ab crunch, but we have that forward tuck that allows you to get a little bit more room. But we can go backwards, and this is going to be more of the pose you're going to need for Shazam anyway, because you're definitely going to want to be able to do flight poses, especially doing stuff like this, where let's say you want to do a pose of him flying and holding a car above his head. I know this is not the best pose, but if I do pose it up pretty well and we have those arms up like this, you are definitely going to want to be able to do this with your Shazam. And I think that counterbalances that front ab crunch that everybody's going to want. You definitely want the backwards crunch for those really cool flight stance. Now, as far as the legs go, we can do the small drop down method. There's a thigh swivel. forward, we have double jointed knees. Mine's a little loose on the left one. And we have pretty forward articulation and decent ankle pivot. I am all over the place. There's also toe pivot as well. Same applies for both legs. Now, one thing is when you do the leg articulation, just know that the legs don't sit without rotating in just a little bit. Kind of like showing you he's still a kid in a way, as he gets a little knock-kneed like a kid, as you can see here. So I'm not sure if that was something done on purpose, like a method to show you that he's still a kid at heart, or it was just one of those cool things where it was like, okay, you know, we decided to throw that in for fun. But I definitely like that nod towards classic Shazam style family fun. You know what I mean? Now, as far as the cape goes, it is not wired, except for the hood. The hood is wired, but the rest of the cape is not, but it does have a really good look. I actually like it. It's ruffled. I'm not sure if that's the word, but it's folded pretty well. And it actually can extend out on both. But even when you, I lost them. Even when you're not doing that, you can just fold it back in, have a little bit of fun. And the hood on the head, I think is a little too big, but that's actually not easy to do when you're doing what you do. So you can actually fold it up and, you can actually fold it. And I recommend that you fold these parts here towards the chest first, and then fold over the head, because it's definitely going to look a little funny, like a pointy hood. And that's something I cannot recommend to look good in photos. So you got to be a little careful. I highly suggest you do it more like this, where you tuck the back. Definitely will look a lot better. Now, let's put this guy down. Let's talk about his accessories as I get them all squared up for you guys. Let's take this hood off, make it look cool. Right? There we go. I like that. Let's leave that pose for a second. There we go. Now, we do get extra heads. Both of them look really cool. We have the kind of smirking, goofing head, which actually, I like this. I like this a lot. The lips are ducked out, like, so if he's taking a selfie, he has duck lips, as you can see here. And then here we have the smiling face, which I think is very nice to add. And you can see the difference. Let's get some light on that. You can see the differences in the actual expressions. These look really great. I think these were done very well. Next up, we have a bunch of hand accessories, which I think were also dope. We have 2 lightning bolt hands, as seen as lightning bolts coming out of the hand, as you see in the movie. These are actually removable as well too. You don't have to keep them on. So if you want to figure out, if you want to add a fireball or something with some hand pegs that you can take off, this is definitely going to be for you. Then you have the finger blast lightning hands. You get 1 of each for each hand. They're really nice stuff. You'll get a beverage. They left it nameless, obviously, because they don't want to get in trouble. You have a cell phone. This is a normal black cell phone, and I'm going to assume they chose an iPhone or a Samsung Note because it's designed shape-wise. As you saw one of the closed fists, here's the other closed fist. Here is 2 of the hands for holding the beverage. I'm going to just choose a random one and show you that it just fits and slides right in. And it holds it very well. Next up, you have those hands for holding the cell phone. We'll grab that. Same thing here, holds it really well. You'll get 2 of each, 1 for each hand. Well, for 1 each side of the hand, I should say. Then you have your open, relaxed hands. Actually, these are hands you put around your waist. Or you can use them for saving people. Sorry, these are not the open relaxed. These are the open saving / gesture hands that you can actually put around the waist to do whatever it is you want to do. These are the open relaxed hands. And then next up, we have the open action hands. I have 1 here on the left hand, and here's the right one. Last but not least, you're going to get a really nice effect for the chest, which is for obviously when you say Shazam. Real quick, what you're going to do is you're going to peel out the chest panel. If you're having some trouble like I am, because I have no nails, I recommend you use tweezers or something. And I just chipped what little nail I had left. As you can see, it takes right out. And this piece looks really good, as it is a small piece of lightning you can just add on, and it just plugs right into the chest. So again, when you want to do and say the magic word, all you have to do is yell Shazam. This is a very nice effect part that they've added on. I think this would look really cool with the grinning face as a classic image of the Marvel family. Instead of, I shouldn't say Shazam family, but you could say that too. So yeah, old Fawcett comic stuff. So if you like the Golden Age stuff, or even the more recent stuff, even if you want to go back just as far as like the most recent stuff from Rebirth with Jeff Johns and Dale Inglesham, it's really, really good stuff. I do recommend you read it if you haven't already. So yeah, let's get them all squared up. That's all of his accessories. Now we're gonna jump into the size comparison, and I'm gonna get to that. All right, guys, before I jump into the size comparison, I do want to add that I actually forgot that he also got some donut casings. Well, the donut case to store his stuff in, as he can carry it as well too. This can also be used with the gesture carrying hand. I totally forgot because I was using it as a prop in the beginning to take a photo. So I'm sorry about that. So let's now jump into the size comparison. Now I'm going to compare him to a bunch of other Mafex and other lines so you guys can see what's going on with him, right? Let's actually move my light along, get that guy all squared up. Let's jump in with, actually, first things first, I want to compare him to the Mezco version of Shazam, considering I do not have any other version other than the Mezco one. And I wanted to get a couple of other ones, but I haven't seen them released yet. And as you can see here, compared to his Mezco Big Red Cheese version, I totally like both versions. This is going to be my classic Captain Marvel / Shazam. This is going to be what I call my Rebirth New 52 one. I definitely like both of them. Both of them serve completely different purposes, and they both look really good. So even if you want to do some multiverse stuff, you can definitely do that. Just in case you're wondering, here he is up next to Mezco Black Adam. So you can see, I'm definitely going to have these two square off because I think it would look really, really good. And just in case you collect the DC icons, here are the DC icons with it all as well too. I think he's probably going to be the smallest. Yeah, he's definitely the smallest one here, but he does work well with the Mafex one. So if you've read the Jeff Johns stuff, you definitely know that you can make this work, right? So let's pull these guys back, scale it back a bit, and let's compare him to some other Mafex stuff in case you want to do some cool crossovers. Here he is with the Mafex Superman. And I think these are going to be for people who definitely want to see some classic Shazam stuff. They look really good together. Superman being just a tad bit taller. Here we are with the Mafex Aquaman. This guy's going to be much buffer and bigger. And as you can see, size-wise, he definitely outclasses Shazam in terms of width. Here we are with the SH Figuarts Justice League Flash. I cannot find my Mafex one. Don't know what happened to it. But yeah, I think he'll fit well in with this. And they could do a cool little team up. And then we still have both Wonder Womans being both Mafex and SHF. And I'll break those both out right now. See if she can fit on camera pretty well. Yep. And then we'll put the SHF one over here. So any kind of team up or cool stuff you want to do, if you guys want to take a quick look, there you go. Now we're going to compare it to some other lines and do some cool stuff, right? Let me see if I can grab all these guys at once. Yeah, I can. All right. Now we're going to compare it to a 6-inch Marvel Legends. Here we are with a Spider-Man. Right? Next up, we have an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Kuga. Then we have an Articulated Icons Ninja, in case you ever wanted to do magical ninjas versus Shazam, which I'm pretty sure he'd think that'd be cool. Then we have an 1000 Toy Synthetic Human / Carb. This is my hybrid. He's the homie always hanging out somewhere on my desk. All these guys look pretty good. Then we're going to do a Mythic Legions Rhaegar, who I want to review that as well. See, Mythic Legions and Marvel Legends are a tad bit bigger, but it works out. And just in case, I want to compare with you guys real fast. With Mythic Legions, there's two types of bodies. Here's the 1.0, and here is a 2.0 body, which is a tad bit smaller and could work. Actually, let me put this down. I forgot that would be in the way. I have a Doctor Strange head on there, but he kind of works if you want to do some magical stuff with Shazam. Next up, I do want to compare it to a DC Essentials. Here's a DC Essentials Cyborg Superman. And as you can see, the essential stuff is far, far bigger. And I always have trouble having them stand up, so I'm gonna hold them. All in all, I really like this piece. I really think it works well in mixing your continuity or just being updated with some really cool stuff. And even if you just like movie stuff, you're definitely in for a nice, fun surprise with this figure. I think the only drawback is not being able to lift his arm up normally. And I'm still not sure if that's just a me problem. If that's an overall issue with a lot of other people. I'm definitely gonna double check when I get a chance, see what's going on. Maybe it's just a QC issue, but I don't know yet. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this informative. And as always, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.